We as people in this world, this time, with things that we've taught and go through in life, we hold on to resentment. And holding on to resentment is like drinking poison and hoping that someone else gets sick from it. Forgiveness isn't about saying what happened was okay. It's about reclaiming your peace. Hey everyone, welcome back to A Talk with G, the podcast where we explore ancient wisdom, modern wellness, and everything in between. Today we are embarking in our fourth chakra for our chakra healing and shadow work series. Today we're tuning in to the radiant energy of our heart chakra, the center of love, compassion, emotional healing, and connection. If you've ever felt closed off, like it's hard to trust others or even love yourself, this episode is for you. Our heart chakra is where we hold not just the love for others, but for ourselves. Our self-love, our empathy, forgiveness, and emotional balance. But it's also a place where many of us carry deep wounds, grief, betrayal, abandonment, loneliness. And that's exactly why this chakra is so important. It's just as important as every other chakra, but it holds a different weight. With this chakra, we're going to explore the layers of this energy center, from the ancient roots to the modern ways, how it shows up in our relationships and our inner world. We may uncover what might be blocking our heart from fully opening and how to begin to soften and heal through reflection, breath work, journaling, and self-compassion. So take a deep breath, place your hand over your heart, and let's begin this gentle journey into our heart chakra. Our heart chakra, known in Sanskrit as anahata, which translates to unstruck or unhurt. Right there, you feel the weight shift in your heart. You see, even in the face of pain, grief, or heartache, there's a place within all of us that remains whole, untouched by life's wounds. And that is the essence of this chakra. While the lower chakras, root, sacral, and solar, deal with survival, emotion, and personal power, our heart chakra is the bridge. It connects the earthly part with the spiritual. It's the physical body with the soul. It is here in this center of the chest that we experience love, not just romantic love, but self-love, compassion, empathy, forgiveness, and connection to all beings. Our heart chakra governs our heart, obviously, our lungs, our upper back, and circulatory system. All of the systems that keep us alive and connected. And fittingly, it's also associated with the element air. Think about air. It's light, expansive, always moving. That is an invitation of the heart chakra to open, to expand, and to allow love to flow freely in and out. The color here is green, the color of growth, healing, harmony. Picture a luscious forest, blooming plants, or soft spring green after the rain. That's the kind of energy our heart chakra carries. Renewal, softness, vitality. Sometimes it can also be associated with soft pink, a color of tenderness and unconditional love. In ancient traditions, this chakra was believed to be the seat of our soul, the space where our true essence lives beyond our wounds and ego. It is where the divine within ourselves meets the divine in others. Within Ayurveda, this chakra is tied closely to our Vata dosha, which governs breath and the nervous system. When our Vata dosha is balanced, our breath flows evenly, our mind is calm, and our heart feels light and free. But when it's out of balance, you may feel anxious, closed off, or emotionally unstable. A healthy heart chakra allows us to give and receive love with ease, to form meaningful relationships, to forgive, to care deeply without losing ourselves in the process. It helps us show up in the world from a place of compassion for others and maybe mostly importantly for ourselves. But when the chakras imbalanced or blocked, we often feel lonely, disconnected, guarded or stuck in old pain. It could feel like we're going through the motions, but our heart isn't really in it. Or like you're protecting yourself so fiercely that no one can truly reach you. Our heart is wise. Our heart is resilient, and it deserves to feel safe again. Healing this chakra is about learning to trust love, and not just from an outside source, but from within. When we look at our shadow that lives in this heart space, often betrayal, abandonment, grief, and guilt arise. And when you mix the feeling of love and betrayal in the same space, you're going to learn how each one heals each other. Now that we understand what the heart chakra is, let's talk about what can block it and why it's something so many of us experience. The most common reason? Heartbreak. And I don't just mean romantic heartbreak. I mean the kind of emotional pain that comes from betrayal, abandonment, loss, or simply growing up in an environment where love was inconsistent, conditional, or withheld. Every time you were taught that love had to be earned or that you were unlovable as you are, a crack formed in your heart space. And over time, those cracks turned into walls. Then there's grief. Losing someone you love, whether through death, distance, or disconnection, leaves a residue on the heart chakra. That kind of pain doesn't always get processed right away. We push it down and tell ourselves to move on and try to keep functioning. But energetically, the heart remembers. Grief doesn't go unacknowledged, it lingers in the chest like a heavy air, making it hard to breathe deeply or fully trusting again. Another big one is self betrayal. Every time you have said yes when you meant to say no, every time you shrank yourself to be accepted, every time you put someone else's needs above your own without honoring your own boundaries, you've chipped away at your own self love. And that is something the heart chakra needs in order to thrive. Not just love for others, but love for yourself. When we constantly abandon ourselves to be liked or avoid conflict, we slowly disconnect from our heart's truth. Next, lack of forgiveness is also a major blockage here. And I'm sure no one wants to agree or admit to this. But whether it's towards others or towards yourself, holding on to resentment or guilt closes the heart over time. And let's be real. Forgiveness does not mean excusing harm or pretending everything is okay. It's not about letting people off the hook. Forgiveness is about freeing yourself from the emotional chains that keep you tied to an old pain. Sometimes the hardest person to forgive is yourself for what you didn't know, for what you allowed, for how long you stayed. But without forgiveness, our heart stays guarded. In order to move past pain, it's not necessarily okay to just forgive the other person that may have conflicted it, but it's important to forgive yourself no matter what. Next, we have the fear of vulnerability. This one is another huge one. Many of us have been hurt after opening our hearts, so we start to believe that love isn't safe. We might become overly independent, disconnected, or numb, telling ourselves we don't need anyone, when deep down we are craving connection more than ever. But vulnerability isn't weakness, it's courage. It's saying, here I am as I am, and trusting that I am worthy of love. And finally, emotional suppression. Just like with the sacral chakra, when we suppress our feelings, especially sadness, tenderness, or the need for affection, our heart chakra starts to constrict. You cannot selectively numb emotions. If you shut down pain, you also dull joy. The heart needs space to feel it all, to process, to release, to soften. So, if you've ever felt closed off, emotionally guarded, stuck in grief, or out of touch with your sense of compassion, I want you to know you're not alone. Our heart is sensitive, yes, but it is also powerful. And healing this chakra isn't about rushing to feel love. It is about gently peeling back the layers, reconnecting to our truth and reminding ourselves that love is our birthright. Our heart chakra is a beautiful reminder that at our core, beneath all the wounds and heartbreaks, there is a part of us that has never been broken. That part is pure love, limitless, unshakable, divine. This chakra, as I mentioned, bridges between the lower chakra, which deals with survival, emotional, and personal power, to the higher chakras, which is about wisdom, truth, and spiritual connection. The heart is a sacred center where humanity meets divinity. It teaches us how to live with empathy, integrity, and presence. So, what's the core lesson of our heart chakra? Love. And not just romantic love, not love for family or friends, but unconditional love. The kind that asks you to see beyond judgment, to hold compassion for yourself and for others, to soften where life makes you want to harden. Anahata reminds us that we are wired for connection, for kindness, and for healing. Another key theme in our heart chakra is balance, giving and receiving. So many of us are taught to love fiercely while forgetting ourselves. Or we build walls to protect our heart and end up pushing away the very nourishment we crave. Healing our heart chakra asks, can you receive the love you give? Can you open to support, joy, and tenderness without guilt or fear? This theme, I feel like it's very hard for some to grasp. And I will continue to repeat it to you until you feel like it makes a little more ease in your life. Forgiveness. You see, forgiveness for all of us is a powerful teacher. It's the biggest teacher in our heart chakra. And not because it's easy, but because it's freeing. You see, we as people in this world, this time, with things that we've taught and go through in life, we hold on to resentment. And holding on to resentment is like drinking poison and hoping that someone else gets sick from it. Forgiveness isn't about saying what happened was okay. It's about reclaiming your peace. It's an act of courage that says, I choose my freedom over my fury. And many people, while say, I want nothing to do with a situation or a person, we don't forgive. We don't forgive ourselves for allowing that because we think we were acting not smartly or not correctly. But in the same sense of feeling like you're drinking poison and hoping someone else gets sick, while you're saying that, it's like holding glass. You're cutting your hand, hoping whoever hurt you in that situation or whatever choices you made will bleed instead of you. It doesn't work that way. The next beautiful thing about this chakra, it teaches us boundaries. And that might surprise you. We think love means saying yes to everything, being endlessly available, or carrying everyone else's burdens. That's wrong. You see, true love, healthy, aligned love, honors yourself and others. It means knowing when to say yes and when to say no, when to open your heart and when to protect your energy. An open heart doesn't mean a wide open door for chaos. It means choosing what's lovingly, not just for others, but for yourself. At its essence, our heart chakra calls us to wholeness. It asks us to see the beauty in the messy middle, to connect deeply, and to be courageous enough to let love in again, even after being hurt, even after being disappointed, and even after all the reasons your heart told you not to try again. Because here is the truth. Love is who we are. It is not something we earn or chase. It's what you return when you are stripped of everything else. And when our heart is open, life tends to feel softer. You begin to trust. You begin to breathe deeper. You walk lighter. And you remember that loving truly, openly, vulnerably is one of the bravest things we can do. When our heart chakra is out of balance, it doesn't just show up emotionally like everything I've mentioned prior. It shows up in our body too. Remember, energy that isn't processed or expressed doesn't disappear, it gets stored. And the heart space, being such a tender and vital part of our being, often holds onto things we didn't get to release. Rejection, loneliness, grief, and the deep ache of not feeling loved or understood. Physically, our heart chakra imbalances can show up as issues in the chest, heart, and lungs. Shortness of breath, tightness in chest, heart palpitations, or respiratory conditions like asthma. You may also experience upper back tension between the shoulder blades, or even arm wrist issues, especially on the left side, which associates with our feminine side and receiving side. From an Ayurvedic lens, our heart chakra aligns mostly closely with Vata and Kapha dosha. Vata, Vata governs the breath, movement, and the nervous system. And when it's out of balance, this leads to anxiety, restlessness, and the feeling of disconnection or emptiness in the heart. Kapha, on the other hand, rules the chest and lungs. When it's excess, we may feel sluggish, heavy, or overly attached or emotionally stuck. A depleted or blocked heart chakra often mirrors a kapha imbalancement that shows up as emotional congestion, holding on to the past, feeling weighted down by unprocessed sorrow or resentment. There may be a sense of emotional numbness or the inability to feel joy fully. You might find it hard to cry or feeling like you can't stop crying. And let's talk about the energetic defense mechanism of the heart. You may notice crossing your arms over your chest without realizing it. You might hold your breath more often or feel a subtle clenching of your upper body when you're around others. These are physical signs that your body is protecting your heart. But protection, while has its place, it can become a prison if we never feel safe enough to come out. Ayurvedically, one of the most beautiful ways to bring healing there is through ojas, our vital life sap, which supports emotional resilience, love, and immunity. Building on oja means nourishing yourself deeply, warm foods, heartfelt connection, time in nature, gentle touch, and the rest that restores your spirit. Herbs like rose and tulsi are especially healing for the heart. Rose softens and opens up. Tulsi uplifts and clears grief. And don't underestimate the medicine of hug. The warmth of a hand over your chest or the softness of your own breath. Those small moments of connection can work wonders in thawing a frozen heart. So, if you've been carrying emotional heaviness or heart center physical symptoms, know that your body is speaking to you with so much love. It's not trying to betray you, it's trying to protect you. But healing comes when you begin to listen with compassion, soften the walls, and begin to trust that it's safe to feel again. When it comes to healing this chakra, one of the most powerful things we can do is return to the presence, to our breath, our body, and the space of stillness that lives underneath the ache. The heart does not ask for grand gestures. It asks for truth, for softness, and for consistency. Heart chakra meditations are about reconnection. One of my favorite practices is the heart breath meditation. It's simple, but deeply powerful, and I invite you all to join me if you are in a safe space to do so. You begin by placing one or both hands over your heart center, right in the middle of your chest. Close your eyes and just breathe. With each inhale, imagine drawing in love. And with each exhale, imagine sending out love to the world, or even just to one part of yourself that's been hurting. I invite you to do that for a few more seconds. Sometimes I'll imagine a warm green light expanding in my chest. The color of the chakra, it starts as a small glow and gently expands, filling my whole body like a balm of compassion and peace. I invite you to open up your eyes when you feel safe. Another beautiful practice is metta, or better known as love kindness meditation. You repeat phrases like, may I be happy, may I be healthy, may I be safe, may I live with ease. Then you offer that same prayer to others. someone you love, someone neutral, and even someone you're struggling with. It softens the barrier we built, not through force, but through frequency, through the steady return to love. And when it comes to affirmations, I want to remind you these are not just words, these are soul reminders, seeds. And when you speak them with intention, you begin to rewire old beliefs of unworthiness, fear, and isolation. Here are a couple I'm going to give you guys to start with. I forgive myself and others with ease and grace. My heart is a safe space. Again, you can say these out loud in front of a mirror, write them down in your journal, whisper it to your inner child. Let them become a part of your daily rhythm. Because the truth is, love is not something we have to earn, it is something we return to. And the more we practice presence, the more we remember our hearts were never broken beyond repair. They were just asked to be heard. Now, I invite you to sink into your heart space with some journaling. These prompts I'm about to give you are an invitation, not a homework assignment, but an invitation to dive into the space. You don't have to rush through them. Take your time, light a candle, make some tea, and get cozy. This is your sacred space. This chakra asks us to look at the ways we love, the ways we've been taught not to. It invites us to gently uncover the stories that protects the wounds and guards the wounds that still might be there. It asks us to look at our deepest emotions. Journaling can help us access that quiet inner voice, the one that knows its way home. So, here are a couple prompts that I invite you to take time and dive in. How do I show love to myself? What does self-compassion look like in action? That's one whole prompt. And the second one, who or what do I need to forgive in order to free my heart? Remember, forgiveness doesn't excuse harm. It's reclaiming your energy. Those questions I just gave you are designed to open a door, not to overwhelm you. If something feels heavy, pause, breathe, and come back when you're ready. Healing your heart, it's not about perfection. It's about permission. Giving yourself the permission to feel, to soften, to release. So, whether you're journaling pages and pages or just sitting with one question, know that your heart is listening and every word you write is a part of healing. Now that we've tapped into the emotional space of our heart, let's talk about how we can support this chakra through movement. The heart chakra, being located at the center of our chest, responds beautifully to physical practices that open up the heart space, releases tension in the shoulders, and invites softness. This chakra of love, compassion, and connection is also where, as mentioned, carries the world of emotions, old wounds, heartbreak, and grief. So when we open the heart physically, we often open it emotionally too. Those movements can feel like medicine, nourishing, releasing, and empowering at once. Here are a couple yoga poses to work with. Setu Bansarya, the bridge pose. This pose opens the heart and strengthens the lower body, connected to the ground stability of the root chakra, with the emotional freedom from the heart. It is a beautiful reminder that love requires both softness and support. Next, you have Ustastania, the camel pose, and I apologize for if I may have said that incorrectly or pronounced it incorrectly. This pose is a deeper heart opener that stretches the entire front body and encourages emotional release. You see, the camel pose is powerful. It can bring up feelings. Breathe into whatever surfaces and only go as far as your body feels safe to go. There are many more poses you can work through, but if you decide to work with these through, focus on your breath. Inhale to your heart and exhale any heaviness or tightness you might be holding there. This is not just a physical movement. It's an energetic release. Let each pose be an offering to your own healing. And remember, it's okay if emotions come up. That's part of the work. Sometimes the body holds on to grief the mind has forgotten. Be gentle with yourself. Your heart is doing sacred work. And that brings us to the end of today's journey into our heart chakra, the sacred, beautiful bridge between our earthly and spiritual selves. We explored how the heart holds our joy, our grief, and our capacity for compassion, and sometimes even our deepest wounds. The intention and care that we begin to give ourselves will soften eventually with the edges around the roughness, and we'll be able to love again more fully, more freely, and most importantly, love ourselves. If you felt a stir in your body today, whether it was a memory, a moment of clarity, or a wave of emotion, honor that. That's the power of heart work. It's raw and it's real. Mostly, it's necessary because healing the heart chakra isn't about becoming perfect at love. It's about becoming present with love within your boundaries, within your desires, with the vision of you that deserves to be held, seen, and adored, exactly as you are. If you're ready to go deeper into this work, don't forget to check out the Heart Chakra Healing Workbook if you did not already get the full ultimate guide. The workbook is filled with guided journal prompts, Ayurvedic practice, affirmations, movement to support your continued healing. And if you're craving connection, I invite you to join our upcoming Heart Chakra Healing Workshop, where we'll gather as a community to explore, reflect, and share in this sacred space together. Thank you for being here with me today, and thank you for showing up for your heart. I'll catch you guys in the next episode where we'll move upwards towards our throat chakra, the center of expression, truth, and our authentic voice. Until then, may you soften, keep opening, and keep remembering you're worthy of love because you are love. Take care. See you guys.